Namaste everyone, welcome to your practice. This is Stephen from YogaWorks. There's a change of scenery, it's a bit cold here. The winter has started in South Africa, so I thought I'll record from indoors. I hope you're keeping nice and warm wherever you are. So this is our last Thursday live class for a while. As the lockdown starts to ease up a little bit, I'll just be continuing with the Sunday morning classes until we're allowed to get back to the yoga in the park outdoors, and then those will be replaced by physical classes, hopefully really soon. So this class is all about compassion. This class is designed for when you are feeling a little bit down, a little bit depleted, a little bit overwhelmed by the outside world, let's say, and all the demands that are placed on you. And the yoga mat or your yoga practice, this is a safe place to come back to when that is happening. And to be honest, it is happening to all of us at one point or another. So this is a practice to fill up our own cup so that we can go back out there and give and support and help and do whatever is needed in our daily lives. We're starting with self-compassion, and that is a good place to start, to go out and share it with everybody around us. So we're going to start in a nice introspective pose. It's called child's pose. It's a nice resting pose in the yoga practice. So open your knees just slightly more than hip distance apart, and then just start to fold your upper body forward over the legs. And if you like, you can make a pillow with the hands like this, the hands on top of each other, and then the forehead can rest on that. And just drop in for a moment. This is a good place to start, just to, for a moment, there's all this stuff happening out there in the world. When I'm recording this, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and sometimes we can't deal with it for a moment. So turn inside, and whatever's happening out there, it's fine, you'll face it when the time is right. But for now, take a moment to just be here with yourself. Just a decision to stop rushing for a moment, to step onto your mat, to take out an hour to improve your health and well-being. That is in itself a great act of compassion. So just congratulate yourself for doing that for yourself. It will be easy to send a couple more emails, to rush around a little bit more, to start a new project, but we'll get to that later. And can you feel a weighted quality? Just feel the floor, the surface underneath. Accept your weight. Weight in the legs. A softening down of the hips towards your heels. A subtle relaxing of the belly and around the spine. The shoulders don't need to be tense, the neck can relax. And then soften the facial muscles as you just relax here. Now tune into the movements of breath. Where can you feel the breath? You don't need to change anything, but just start to become aware. And there's a good chance you feel this gentle rising and falling as the rib cage expands on the inhale, and you might feel the belly press against the thighs a little bit. As you exhale, feel a softening. You don't have to do anything to do that. For a few rounds, pay attention to how the breath moves inside you. And let this be really calming, soothing, without active effort. Just paying attention. This is your home, this is your safe place. You can come back to your yoga mat anytime you like, hopefully very regularly. And what exactly you do here is actually not the most important thing. The most important is that you come back and you do what you need at that moment. And some days it's going to be core strengthening or deep back bends, and some days it's going to be this, just child's pose, restorative practice, gentle stretches. It's all good. And then slowly start to rise up. And then come into a simple cross-legged pose. Let's start with the right shin in front of the left. And then cross the shins down the middle, doesn't matter how high your knees are, and activate the feet ever so slightly. Lengthen the spine. And then just walk the hands a little bit forward. And then you will quickly feel how far you need to go. Some people will be lying all the way down, and some will be sitting all the way up, or anywhere in between this. So for me, about halfway feels about right. If it's available, you can rest the elbows down, or you can stay on the hands. And then I stress this in all yoga classes, but it really doesn't matter how far you go. You just go until you reach that edge of challenge. Not tons of challenge, just the first beginning. And you stay there. Often in a lot of my other classes we'll be moving and flowing with the breath. We'll be doing some of that, but I wanted to start in a really gentle, introspective way. This practice is for when you need to take your foot off the accelerator and take a step back and take really good care of yourself. And feel how the sit bones can sink down onto the floor, onto the mat. And feel the space that exists in the lower back. The breath can explore that space. If you're able to send it there, just try that. And try for these poses to be as effortless and calming as possible. It's like a little thank you note to your body. You've been running around, you've been working hard, you've been taking care of others, and you are taking some strain. So that's why you come to a yoga mat, which is just for you. Now, second part of the pose will stay a little bit longer, but just walk your hands a bit over to the left. Not too far, we're not going all the way sideways, but let's say a bit of a 45-degree angle or so. And then you can just rest in again, maybe on the hands if you're a little bit higher, maybe on the forearms or whatever feels right. So now we're adding a tiny side bend. And just feel how this has changed the sensation around the hips. You might feel slightly more in the outer hip on the right side. And now I'd like you to imagine there's a balloon in the right side of the lower back, just next to the spine. And with your breath, you can inflate the balloon. And as you exhale, the balloon slowly deflates and lets go of all the pressure. Do this for a few rounds. Inhale into the right side of the lower back. Exhale, let all the tension go. Let's do one more like this, slow inhale. Slow exhale. Nice, slowly come up. Let's swap the legs. Same thing, left shin in front of the right this time. Cross shins down the middle, activate the feet ever so slightly. Sit the buttocks back and walk your hands forward until it's enough for you. So you might be quite upright, that's fine. You might be all the way down, or you might be somewhere in between. Just figure it out, what works for your body, not somebody else's. And then drop in. This is it. Nice, soothing, introspective poses to, for a moment, shut off from this outside world. It can seem a little bit crazy sometimes. Sometimes you can't deal with all of this for a moment. You need to just sit back, take care of yourself, and then go back out when you are ready. So feel a subtle lengthening of the spine, a grounding down through the whole lower body, and then a feeling of softness in the shoulders, in the neck, in the face. During this practice, I might build in little moments of silence here and there, just to give you a chance to drop in more and see where you're at. Feel the breath and go all the way down to the lower back, the pelvis, the belly. Like a very subtle massage from the inside out. And then similar pose with a little variation. Just walk the hands a little bit over to the right side on the diagonal. And then do the same. Maybe you stay on the hands, maybe you're higher up, maybe you're lower down. Just find your position that works for your body. Notice the sensation in the hip. Maybe the left hip gets slightly more sensation now that we're turning away from it. But we don't want anything super intense or challenging. There's enough of that stuff in our daily lives where we have to push really hard. We're completely out of our comfort zone. And then this practice is not one of those. In this practice, we want to feel safe and able to take care of ourselves. And then again, like we've done on the first side, imagine that balloon in the left side of the lower back this time, and inflate it with your breath. Send the breath there. And as the balloon deflates, let go of all tension that you can become aware of. 2 more breaths like this. Inhale into the left side lower back. Exhale. Last one, enjoy. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly come back up. A nice slow start. We'll do one more thing. Gets a little bit more into the shoulders. So sit comfortably, maybe cross-legged, maybe on the shins like me. And then lift the right arm high. Lower the hand somewhere behind the back of the neck, and then with the other hand just help the elbow to lift a little bit more up. So you feel a gentle stretch, don't go too far. A gentle stretch the triceps and under the armpit, the lats there. You want to keep the breath nice and soft here, because it's a sign if the breath is struggling, then you might be going a little bit too far, which is not our intention. Definitely not today. Couple of breaths here. Invite some space into the shoulder joints, the upper back. And then release the sides. Lift the left arm, bend your elbow with the right hand. Hold the elbow. If that's too far, you can hold the forearm or the wrist instead, that's fine. And just help the arm, the elbow lift a little bit, that's fine. Relax the face, drop any tension from the shoulders where you can find any. And just take a few breaths here. Nice opening all along the left side body here under that arm. Sometimes a bit of a forgotten place where we collect a whole lot of tension if we're not aware of it. Slowly release. Reach the right arm to the side, turn the palm back, and then just reach the hand below the lower back, or if there's more space, slide it a little bit higher up if there's space. And then with the left hand, you can help. If there's space, you can reach all the way to that elbow and help it to tuck in a little bit. Or you can do the same just by holding the wrist or the hand behind your back. So now work on the internal rotation of this right shoulder joint here. Again, keep it a little bit mild. We're not moving into lots of intensity for this practice. We're just giving our body a little bit of movement medicine. And then release the side, reach the left arm to the side, turn the palm back, and then move it behind the lower back, or a little bit higher up if there's space to do that. With the right hand, you can help by holding the forearm, the wrist, the elbow, doesn't really matter. And just feel the inside of that left shoulder joint. And then slowly release. Roll the shoulders a couple of times just to feel the effect of our movements here. And roll the other way. Sometimes this is all you need, a couple of gentle stretches, a little moment, just you and your yoga mat. You can do whatever you feel is right at that moment. And then come into downward facing dog. And actually I'm going to give you an option. Down dog could be quite intense, especially if you're a little bit new to this. So if you want a more softer pose, you can always lower the knees down, step the hands forward, lower the forehead. Or if you feel like slightly more active pose, we're going to be holding down dog for a little bit longer, maybe about 90 seconds or so. We're almost half a minute in. And instead of checking this and adjusting that, just be still. So you're either in down dog or your knees are down in the puppy pose, as we call it sometimes. Take a moment to just experience this. Slow, steady breaths. A feeling of spaciousness and strength. And then if you chose to do down dog, it's not too late to lower the knees. So if that's what you need right now, then lower the knees, take a break at any point. About 20 more seconds. Can you be absolutely still, even still your gaze? Look at one point, maybe between the feet, or between the knees. Don't even move the eyes. Nice. Walk forward to the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn around to start from here. Bend your knees a little bit more and then really slowly roll up into standing mountain pose. Place your palms at the heart center. Stand tall in your mountain pose. We're going to be flowing with the breath for a couple of rounds of sun salutations. But again, we'll keep it really mild and we'll focus on the compassion element of this practice. The sense that when there is suffering in you or in others, there's a natural tendency that we're born with to help to alleviate that suffering, to help that person in need. If it's you, then you need to help yourself. If it's others, then if you're able to, we can step in to help. For this first round, I'd like you to bring to mind something you are grateful for. Maybe it's to be warm and cozy inside your house. Maybe it's for family members, your partner, your kids, your parents, whoever is a real support for you this time. Maybe it's for your health and the fact that you're able to do this yoga practice. Your body is allowing you to do so. Pick something you're really grateful for. Keep this in mind, hold it between the hands, hold it close to your heart. And from that space, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, slowly fold forward. Bend the knees a little bit, don't go too deep. Inhale, flat back, extend the heart forward. Exhale, hands down, step the right foot back, lower the knee. Inhale, come up, just press the hands on the knee for this round. And then exhale, step back into down dog. Inhale to plank. Lower the knees, slowly lower all the way down. Tiny little cobra inhale. Exhale, you can move back through child's pose and then into downward facing dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee down. Keep in mind what you're grateful for as you slowly lift into low lunge. Hands down, step forward, fold. Inhale, rise, go all the way up. Slow and gentle movements. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now bring to mind somebody that gives you great joy. Just the thought of that person lights up your whole being, from the heart center all the way to the edges of your skin. Just the mere thought of that person in your life brings a smile to your face. Hold this person close to your heart. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale all the way down. You can bend your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, the hands down, left foot back. Lower the knee, hands on the front knee if you like. Low lunge. Keep the thought of that person as you step into down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Lower the knees and then all the way down. Inhale, cobra pose, keep it mild. Exhale, shift back to down dog. With the thought of that person in mind, inhale here. Exhale, left forward, right knee down. Briefly, low lunge, inhale. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, back to the heart. Round 3. Bring to mind yourself. Oh, that's a hard one. This is the one that often gets left out in our care and compassion. If it's hard to picture yourself as you are right now, you can always picture yourself when you were a little boy or little girl, maybe you were 4 or 5 years old, innocent and curious and exquisitely alive. Picture that little you or the current you, doesn't matter. Inhale, this is for you. all the way up. Exhale, receive it. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot back, knee down. Inhale, low lunge. You don't have to lift the arms. You can if you want to. Exhale, just to down dog. This is for you. Receive it. Inhale in down dog. And shift forward to plank. Lower your knees all the way down. Mini cobra, roll the shoulders a little bit back. Exhale to down dog again. Inhale here. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, keep it mild, step forward. Inhale, rise, take everything in that you need right now. Exhale, bring it to your heart. Take a breath. Now bring to mind somebody who is struggling. There's probably a lot of people, especially during this global pandemic. Somebody who's sick, somebody who came down with the virus, somebody who's just not having a great time financially, emotionally, physically, whatever it is. Bring to mind that person that could do with a little bit of extra help. And then generally send all the good vibes of this yoga practice to them. Inhale, rise. See them in your mind's eye. Exhale, dive down. You can bend your knees. Inhale, this is for that person, flat back. Exhale, left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale to down dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, little cobra pose. Exhale, shift back. Down dog. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, left foot forward, the right knee down. Inhale, low lunge, keep it simple. Exhale, step forward, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Imagine the person receiving your thoughts and wishes. Now bring to mind an acquaintance, somebody that you don't really know. You know what they look like. You've met them possibly many times, but you don't really know much about this person. It might be a taxi driver or a security guard, a beggar on the corner of your street, a neighbor from down the road. Bring to mind this acquaintance and then send them your best wishes. This is for them. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway up. Exhale, the right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Lower knees, lower all the way down. Mild cobra pose, lift a little bit. Exhale, shift back. Down dog. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, the right foot forward, left knee down. This is for that acquaintance. Inhale, low lunge, may they be well. Exhale, step forward, fold. Inhale, let's rise, take it all the way up. Push your feet down. Exhale, bring it back to the heart. This is not a thinking practice. This is doing and feeling and being. Now, last round, bring to mind all the living beings in the world. Some are really struggling, some are doing amazing, and everything in between. Send your best wishes to all living beings. Here we go. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, the left foot back. Lower your knee. Low lunge. This is for the world. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, shift forward, plank. Exhale, use your knees, slowly lower. Inhale, mild movements, a little back bend. Exhale, shift back, downward facing dog. Inhale and down dog. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Lift your chest a little bit, low lunge. Exhale, step forward, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands back to the heart. Take a moment, feel this. Through the power of your mind, your heart, your imagination, you have just connected to all the beings in the world. Your body is limited, you can never meet all the beings in the world, but mentally you can. The mind is unlimited. Nice, from here, just take a big step back and come into a relaxed horse stance. So bend the knees a little bit, soften the hips a little bit down, and keep the chest, the torso a little bit upright. And then just shift a little bit side to side, bringing more weight onto the one foot and then onto the other foot. Just shift side to side. We'll do a series of standing poses, which can be quite hard, and usually in a vinyasa flow, which is the main style that I teach. We'll be moving through the whole chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog in between. So now we'll skip this, just to give our arms a little break, to keep it a bit milder. First pose, warrior 2, turn the right toes out. Adjust your stance if you need to. I like heel to heel, and then bend the right knee and stretch the arms out. That's it. Just hold for a little moment. And if this is hard, then just back off a little bit. You can do this by just not going so deep. If it's tough for the arms, then you can always have hands to hips, or what you can also try is to turn the palms of the hands up, just to engage different muscles. Go easy on yourself. And then straighten the front leg, bring the toes in, turn the left toes out, go straight to the second side. Warrior 2, if it's hard, then back off a little bit, just lift the hips higher. If the shoulders get tired, you can turn the palms up, or even take the arms out of the equation. When things get hard, sometimes we decide to not practice. Yoga is the first thing to go, but actually what should be happening is you return to your yoga practice. And you adapt it to suit your needs at the moment. Maybe you make it really mild. Maybe your shoulders are tired, you just don't lift the arms. It's fine. And then come back to center. This time keep the legs straight. As you fold forward, just hang down. I like to hold opposite elbows, soften the head down, and let the spine just lengthen out from the hips. Nice, walk your hands to your right foot, lower the left knee down, and then just a couple of times, pull the hips back and move them forward. Pull the hips back, this will straighten the right leg a little bit, and move them forward. Just do this a few times. There's nowhere you need to be. There's no end point in this practice. It's not like where your knee is straight, now you're done, or where you can do the full splits, now you're done. No, all of this is just a point on our journey. So can you see it just like that? Some gentle movements to get grounded in your body. And to work from the simple place that we're at. Even if we're depleted, even if we're barely keeping it together, then this is a good place to start. Just some gentle movement, dropping in. Nice. From here, just move your hands towards the left foot and towards the right. And then sway your upper body from side to side. It's one of my favorite ways to get into inner thighs without getting too much of intensity. Gentle flowing movements to soothe your nervous system. Everything is okay. At least in this moment, which is all we have. If we start thinking about the future, then all kinds of horror images come up. And in yoga we say, this is your imagination. This is not true. This is your worst fears mixed with a little bit of your past experiences. Turn to your left foot, lower the right knee down, and then start to move the hips forward and back, really gently. You don't need to straighten the left knee all the way. It might happen, that's okay, but it's not the point. The point is to let your body know that it's safe, that it can move however it needs to feel amazing. Or if not amazing, at least a little bit spacious and in power. And then return to the center, hang down for a moment. Come back up onto the hands. From here, just lift all the way up. Turn the right toes out, keep the left leg the same. And just reach forward to the right hand, lower it anywhere it lands, it's fine. And lift the left arm up, triangle pose. Just hold for a few breaths. If it's too much, you can bend the front knee just to take a bit of slack off any tightness in the hamstrings, maybe inner thighs. If you have a block nearby, it could be nice to rest the hand on something solid. And then slowly lift up. Turn to the second side, left foot out, right foot slightly in, reach left hand forward, lower it anywhere, and then let the right arm lift up. If it's too hard for the shoulders again, you can have hand on hip. Or just modify your pose to keep it mild for your experience today. Slowly lift up. Now come back into horse stance, bend the knees. This time have your forearms on the knees and then roll them a bit to the inside of the knees so you can push them slightly back. Sit the hips down and back. And lengthen the spine a little bit. That's it. If it feels good, you can make little movements, or you can be still, that's fine. Nice, slowly release. Turn towards your right foot. We're going to come into warrior 3. So step onto the right foot, lift the left foot a little bit. You can bend the right knee as much as you need to, or you can work on pushing the right foot down to straighten the left leg a little bit back and the right leg. A moment here to expand. You can do with the arms whatever you like. I like to reach them back. And then just bend both knees and place your left knee behind the right foot. Sit down. That's it. It's a bit of a harder pose, But then we came down into this pleasant surprise. If this feels too tight, just straighten your front leg out. It's going to give you some more space. Or if this is available, go for it. Lift the chest up and then interlace your fingers. Wrap left elbow in front of the right knee and turn towards the side. You're going to see better on the other side in a moment. But just turn your right shoulder open towards the back. Hug the knee close into the chest. And then just feel your strong foundation that you rest on. And feel you can rise up from there and create this twist. Last part of the pose, if you want to put your hand behind you and transfer the elbow outside your knee, you can do that. Slightly deeper twist, if that is what you would like right now. Slowly release. Just step onto your right foot, come back into wide-legged forward fold. Fold in for a moment. We've got one more side. And then walk hands towards your left foot. Step onto the left foot, lift the right leg high, warrior 3. If you can, hands to heart or hands reaching back. And just wobble as much as you like, fall out 20 times, doesn't matter. But just try out this balance for a moment. Take another inhale. On the exhale, right knee, place it down behind the left foot and sit down. Again, you could straighten this right leg out to have a bit more space. Ground down, right elbow wrapped around left knee. I said you're going to see better on this side, but I was lying. You won't. But what I'm doing is just interlacing the fingers, wrapping elbow around the knee, pulling it close, and then opening the left shoulder towards the back. And then soften. Let the breath do the work, let the mind rest in your body. There's enough going on out there without us having to punish our bodies in our yoga practice as well. It can be fun to do all kinds of exotic poses and really hard transitions. I also enjoy them sometimes. But sometimes this is what my home practice looks like, just gentle, slow, and really soothing. Maybe left hand behind you, right elbow outside your knee. Push the elbow into the knee for a moment, or you can stay in the previous version if you like. Hopefully we'll all be doing yoga for the rest of our lives. And then obviously as we get older, our practice will need to change, it will be forced to. So it's best to not get too attached to all the physical things we're capable of, because those are going to evolve and change over time. Slowly release. Nice. And then come into 90-90. Let's start like this. Left shin parallel to the short edge of the mat, and then right leg arrange it so that it's also at 90-degree angles. Your thigh parallel to the front shin. Nice. From here, just lower down onto your back elbow, your left elbow, and then just poke your right glute and make it really active. So squeeze the right glute muscle. This is going to give you a really nice stretch in the front of this right hip here, the hip flexor. Quite a relaxing pose, but if you engage that glute, you feel quite a nice deep stretch in the front of that hip. Hold for another moment or so. Wherever you are, this is okay. and then slowly lift back up, and then just windscreen wipe the knees from side to side. Try to keep the feet in the same place more or less as you lift and lower the knees to one side and the other. Really nice way to work into some hip mobility without making it too intense. This is definitely part of my daily practice. And then move to the right side, or whichever side you haven't done yet. Just check the knees are 90 degrees on both sides. It's not such an easy pose to set up, but you get used to it. And then the right elbow you can lower down. And then the left glute, squeeze it so that you get a nice length in the front of the left hip here. If you don't squeeze the glute, then this pose doesn't actually do a lot. So I'd recommend to really work on that. But the rest of the body doesn't need to be tense. Another moment or so. Feel how the mind often gets impatient when the practice is a bit slower, we stay a little bit longer in one place. The mind wants to rush forward, do something else, check your messages, think about the next meeting you have. But invited to keep coming back to this place right here. Slowly come back up. Now transition to pigeon pose. You can just bend the right knee a bit more and swing the left leg all the way back behind you. Straighten the left leg. Let's start a little bit active. Press the hands into the mat to lift the chest up. And then slowly lower the elbows down. You can stay on the elbows, or it might be nice to have the hands on top of each other and the forehead resting on the hands. In some yoga practices, we work on strength, on stamina, on skill and technique. But in some yoga practices like this one, we work on self-care, on going a little bit less hard on ourselves. This one is for you, because of course, if you are feeling depleted and stressed and anxious and fearful, then you won't be able to help anybody else. So this is the place to start. This is a place to recharge our batteries before we step back out into the world to do what we can. And then sometimes the best you can is amazing. You're doing one project after the other, you're helping tons of people. And sometimes the best we can is to just struggle out of bed and make ourselves breakfast. Slowly rise up. And then we'll just change to the other side. You can change however you want. I'll just swap to the left side. Set up for pigeon pose, right leg back. Start a bit active, pressing hands down to lift the chest. And when you feel ready, you can lower the elbows or the forehead to drop in. In the yoga practice, yoga pose is called asana, which is translated as seat. So we take our seat in the pose and use it as a place to practice. So now this is the shape we're in, the outer hip stretch, whatever else you might be feeling. And use this as the basis of your experience. We're sitting in the pigeon pose and we're working from here. The pose itself is not important, it's a place to start from. And then feel how your body, how your mind soaks up this peace and quiet of this practice. It might be just what you needed, even though you weren't aware of it. The mind has this habit of always wanting to push forward, move to the next thing, look for more challenges. So sometimes we need to take our foot off the accelerator. Slowly come back up. Nice. Open the legs wide. And this is one of those poses where you need a lot of self-compassion, because this is a pose where it is what it is. If you experience some tightness, then you might even struggle to just sit upright. You could just have your hands behind you. Or you can work on lifting the chest a little bit more. Or you might be able to bring the hands a little bit out in front. Whatever it is, just be in that simple place. And again, instead of pushing and pulling and comparing and wishing that something was different, just be here. If the pose is difficult, this one is for me, this is quite difficult for me, then maybe we can wish that other people do not experience this kind of tightness or difficulty. If the pose is really easy for you, you're lying all the way flat and your legs are straight out to the side, then maybe you can wish that this ease can come to everybody else as well. Because I'm sure you struggle in other areas of yoga or your life for sure. Slowly release. Come to lie on your back. And just bring the knees into the chest. Lower both knees to the left side. Open the arms wide. And then just, if you like, you can place left hand on top of the right knee. Just to keep it down a little bit. And soften here. Now, by the end of this practice, start to send yourself this heartfelt wish that you may be free, you may be happy, your life may flow with ease. Imagine yourself receiving these wishes. Allow the body to really soften and rest in this shape. And then slowly bring the knees back up and lower them over to the other side, to the right. Maybe right hand on top of the left knee, left hand can reach out to the side. And I'd like to invite you to place your head just where it's comfortable. sometimes we look back at the left hand, but that's not always the most comfortable place. So here I often like to look straight up or even to the right. So just try it out and see what works. And again, as you hear, you're giving this gift of rest and respite to yourself. You might send yourself the wish that you are enough. It's not a wish, it is a truth actually. You are enough. You might even tell yourself you approve of yourself. These things are not easy to, they're easy to say, they're not easy to really accept. Because we tend to think, if I just fix this one thing, if I just get a little bit more strong, more flexible here, then it's going to be perfect. But actually, it's already perfect just as it is. And then slowly return to the center. Now the ultimate self-care pose is Savasana. So just wiggle around, place your body just so that it can relax and let go. Use the first minute or so to wiggle around, to shift your shoulders. What could be really nice is to lengthen the lower back and have a bit more space in the lumbar spine. Let the shoulder blades rest underneath you. Relax the hands and the feet. And then slowly feel this place of calm spread from the deepest part of your being. The place that's always calm and unaffected. Find it in your center and let it spread out across your body. Sense the space of calm occupy the whole space inside your skin. To reach into all the corners of your body and mind. And then it's such an overwhelming sense of calm, presence, joy, that it can't be contained inside your skin, so it flows out and you are sharing it with the world, with everybody you come into contact with. Just feel it fill the room, the house you're in, the street and neighborhood, the city you live in, the country, the continent, the planet, and even far beyond. If you have a little bit more time, then just stay here for a little bit longer if you can. If the time's up, you need to be off and away, just move your hands, move your feet. Start to deepen your breath. And then bend your knees and roll over onto your side. And slowly come up to sitting. Take a comfortable seat. Place your palms together at the heart. Take a moment to feel this calm connection, which hopefully you have established or re-established. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart center, and bow to yourself on the mat. Namaste, everybody. Thank you for practicing. I hope you enjoyed this restorative practice on purpose. I kept it nice and calming because this is just what I felt like at this moment. I hope it helps you too. And I hope to see you again on Sunday. There's a whole library of the previous classes on yogaworks.co.za, and there's also an option to support the classes if you feel this is of benefit to you and you like to support the creation of more online content. I hope you enjoyed. See you on Sunday and take care.